Okay, not really, but we're going to try our hand at acting a little bit this morning for a different kind of act of praise. We're going to share with you a garden variety creation story. This was actually written by Reverend Dr. Durrell Watkins, who's the senior pastor at Sunshine Cathedral. And he says about this, creation of anything is the result of creativity itself. So why not engage creativity by rethinking a creative creation tale? Are you ready to rethink a creative creation tale?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Once upon a time, or maybe before time, God created the cosmos and the earth, or a really big garden. Wait, we're already getting ahead of ourselves, merging two stories, and we just don't have time for a double story. So let's take the older of the two, which comes second in the book of Genesis. Oh wait, I bet I'm confusing you already, and if I don't simplify this, you're likely to raise Cain.
No, Eve did that.
And what?
Raise Cain.
He was a bad boy, you know.
Eve did as well as she was able.
You mean she raised Cain as well as Abel?
If she could raise Abel, that would be a resurrection.
What?
Cain went after Abel, so if Eve could raise Abel, that would be resurrection.
But we're not talking about resurrection.
I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Nobody cares about Cain and Abel. We're supposed to talk about creation.
Go ahead, if you're able.
Oh, all right, let's start over. Once upon a time, or maybe before time, God planted a garden.
What about the cosmos and the earth?
Okay, well that gets an honorable mention in the older story, which comes second. But a big deal of it is made in the younger story, which comes first.
I don't know is on third. Just tell the story.
It goes like this. God creates the cosmos and the earth, but the earth is void and without form. So it isn't very earth-like. So mostly God creates the cosmos and a big blob that will eventually become the earth.
You mean evolve.
Oh, don't start that.
Now you're raising Cain.
Eve did that. Ha! How do you like it?
Like what?
When I hit you with Cain.
Honestly, it appears the more adventurous side of my nature.
Moving on. Once upon a time. Or maybe before time. Sky, earth. Earth is a blob. Don't say anything. Everything is dark. God blows on the waters and thinks, why am I blowing on the water in the dark? Let there be light. And there was light, but God also kept some dark and called the light day and the dark night. But then God realized she had created light without creating anything that can produce light, so God retraced some steps and made the sun and stars, and finally there were some people, and God said they were made in the divine image, and then God looked at the earth, which now had form, and called it and everything in it, including the people, good, the end.
That's crazy. Except the we're all basically good part.
Which is why I want to tell the other story.
Go ahead, if you're able.
You are evil.
Are you calling me a bad apple?
Oh, you're making me cry.
Jesus wept.
That isn't even the same story.
So tell the story.
Once upon a time, or maybe before time, God made the cosmos and the earth, but the earth didn't have much going for it because God hadn't yet invented rain, or the science of meteorology to explain how weather actually happens. Be that as it may, a spring bubbled up from out of the earth all at once and started moistening the ground. And so God took some moist earth and sculpted a person. God thought the person turned out pretty well, so God breathed life into that person, so the person could be the gardener for the garden that God was about to plant.
Wait, God created a gardener for a not yet planted garden?
Sometimes God plans ahead. I didn't write the story, I'm just trying to tell it.
Proceed.
Well, after God made a person and breathed divine life into the person, and then made a garden so the person could have a job, God was on a real creative high. So God made rivers and gold. Gold! Genesis chapter 2, verse 11. God struck it rich. Do I know why? It's just the story.
Proceed.
Once upon a time.
You've covered that part.
Once upon a time, God made dirt, and then made a person from the dirt, and then planted a garden in the dirt, so the person would have a job. But then the person got lonely, and so God created a petting zoo. performed invasive surgery on the person and took something out of the person and made another person, and they were companions and lovers from then on. And they were naked, but they didn't know it.
Were they idiots?
Turns out they were the two smartest people in the whole world.
Were they married?
God hadn't yet created the marriage license or prejudices about who should be denied one. So in the beginning, if you loved someone and shared a commitment with them, that was good enough.
So no one had to vote on whether or not their love was legitimate.
In what crazy world would people have to vote on love? Anywho, remember, the first person's job is to tend the newly planted garden.
I'm getting really confused with the first and second person.
Well, let's call the first person Adam and the second person Eve.
Why Adam and Eve? Why not Madam and Eve or Adam and Steve?
Because gay people would have had the fashion sense to know they were naked.
And they would have enjoyed it.
Certainly. Well, Adam is a gardener, and in the dead center of the garden there is a magic tree. And God shows the gardener the tree, but says, leave it alone.
The gardener isn't supposed to take care of the centerpiece of the garden for what he was created to care for?
Finally, you're paying attention.
Why did God point it out? Why didn't God hide it or put up some barrier to keep the garden couple away from it?
Because, whereas that would have been reasonable, it wouldn't make for a very charming story, now would it? So, in the story, God does point it out and says, leave it alone, and furthermore, God says, if you eat the fruit from the magic tree, you'll die.
So, it wasn't magic, just poisonous.
No, but it did grow smart fruit. One bite of this smart fruit, and people who weren't smart enough to know they were naked suddenly got a flash of awareness. Not only could one bite let a couple of morons know they were naked, it also zapped them with the skills to sew clothes. Though God gets the credit. I'm not sure God has thumbs, so I'm pretty sure the couple did it themselves.
What did they use for fabric?
Leaves.
So, the magic fruit made them smart, but didn't give them fashion sense.
We've already established they weren't gay. And besides, they were only about 12 minutes old.
Why did God say the fruit would kill them?
So they wouldn't eat it.
But it didn't kill them.
Apparently not.
What made them think to test the fruit to see if God was trying to pull a fast one?
A talking snake told them the fruit was okay.
Of course.
Oh, that you don't question?
At this point, I no longer expect any of this to make sense.
It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be creative.
Oh!
And they all lived happily ever after.
Until Cain went after Abel.
Oh, the end.